What's up everyone, Wolfman here, back at it again with another LEGO Star Wars review. If you didn't watch my last review on Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter, like I had said in that one, I am indeed doing Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Starfighter. Now you may be asking, which one am I doing? Well, I am going to be doing one of the two different variants that he's actually ever been given, either the Delta 7 or the Ectus 2. The Ectus 2 from permanently featured in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, before I get into the review, just a quick reminder of the upcoming review on my Grand Fleet, which will consist of starfighters and starships from some of the big factions from the Star Wars universe, including Republic, Imperial, First Order, Rebellion and Resistance and anything, and also Mandalorians as well. So if that's something you guys want to see, then definitely tune into that. And if you want to see more of my reviews on these ships, then come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below. And with that out of the way, and without any further ado, onto the review. And here it is, set number 75281, Anikin's Jedi Interceptor. This set was prominently featured back in Episode 3, or first introduced, but it's also spotted in the Clone Wars series, I think only in one episode. And this sucker has 248 pieces, comes with 2 minifigs, one of which is unique, and that happens to be Anakin Skywalker here. And of course, the other one being R2-D2. And this version of R2 has actually been utilized in several other sets, including the Rebel X-Wing Starfighter, and I think one other version of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, which I actually had gotten other versions of, but I never bothered building it because I actually have one of his older Clone War era Delta 7 Jedi Starfighters, which I have modified since, so no review on that. But this one's far more interesting, and quite frankly, I'm tired of doing the reviews on the Delta 7s, even though I do have a soft spot for them, but tend to do the Ectus 2. And like I said before, this sucker was permanently featured in Episode 3 of Revenge of the Sith. And I think this one is actually I want to say the third iteration of Anakin's Ectus 2. Of course, before I go on, this set was first released back in 2020, but has since been retired. So I would suggest go out and get this set, but it's been unavailable for well over a year. But of all the other versions that they've done on this sucker, it's a little, in my opinion, it's a little overkill that they kept doing Anakin's Interceptor because they've done other versions of it. But I'm kind of glad I got this one because I actually have a bit of a soft spot on it. But before I get into the review on the set itself, let's just go through the minifigs real quick. As you can see in the photo here, the detailing on Anakin is actually pretty nice, pretty decent. He does come with a headset, and he has 2 faces, as you can see in the photo here. And he also has detailing on his back, as you can see here. And he does come with a lightsaber, and of course, as anyone who would know by now, I don't care for giving anyone their weapons, but of course, it is well known that Anakin's lightsaber is blue, just like R2, and the clone division he is in command of, which is the 501st. Yeah, I think this is the only design of Anakin you can actually acquire in this set, and I think this is the version that was mainly from Episode 3. So really not much to say. I mean, just the 2 minifigures, one of which is unique, and that's Anakin. So basically put them off to the side and just move on to the Starfighter itself. And this sucker was actually quite the fun build, man, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for our Ectus 2, this sucker really was a lot of fun. Of course, one of the prominent features that this sucker does have, it actually has S-foils, which is one of the neat features, and you can actually angle the wings if one wanted to. They can be horizontal like this, or you can do them at an angle, which is the prominent feature on the Starfighter itself. This is what it would. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry if I'm going too fast on this review or on any of my reviews. I'm just going to throw that out. This is what it would roughly look like with the wing flaps open, and I actually kind of like it, even though it kind of gives it a bit of a TIE Fighter look. I mean, and the Star Wars lore. I'm gonna get it a little bit into the Star Wars lore, but the company that makes these Ectus 2s will go on to do the TIE Fighters as well. So if anyone who's watched the opening to Revenge of the Sith, you can see Obi-Wan and Anakin and their Ectus 2s flying into battle, and the sounds of the engines is similar to the TIE Fighter. So these guys are actually predecessors to the TIE Fighters. Of course, I will show you the back of it as well. I mean, those are the only two thrusters that the sucker has. And this sucker actually does have some playability. I'll just show you guys the underside. This sucker actually does not come with landing gear, but actually sits on both of these suckers. And on the underside here, it does come with the spring-loaded launchers, which I never bothered to put in because they would just automatically fly out, automatically shoot, which annoys the heck out of me. But other than that, this is actually quite the neat starfighter, and of course the cockpit opens. You can actually see a Jedi in there or a pilot, and they just kind of lay in there. I mean, other versions of this particular starfighter, including Obi-Wan's his violet Jedi starfighter, he actually sits quite comfortably in here, whereas a pilot now is kind of lays out at an angle only because of what's underneath, which is the spring-loaded launcher. So that's basically the reason why. So it fits one minifigure in there, but it also fits a whole astromech right in this slot here. In fact, I may as well show you guys anyways, just like I did with Obi-Wan's. I may as well show you how R2 fits in it, and I actually kind of like it. I was kind of worried how a thin-looking starfighter can actually fit in a whole astromech, and that's basically what it looks like. Which you really can't tell exactly from looking at it from above, but definitely from below, it gives that look. Of course, the other side is actually pretty hollow, but I think they kind of did that on purpose, just so you wouldn't put any landing gear on it. But this is how R2 would look. Of course, the first time they actually did this design of starfighter back for Episode 3 for Anakin's and Obi-Wan's first versions, the heads were just placed on the surface of the wing. They could not fit a whole astromech like these ones can, but I'm trying to recall when they first designed these starfighters to hold a whole astromech, so you don't have to take the head off just to stick it on the body, because some of the first versions of the Ectus 2s, you just get the head of the astromech, so they just plug right in and they just spin around. They have no actual body, which is unfortunate, but they have changed since, and I would commend the designers for actually being able to come up with this design to fit a whole astromech. So definitely kudos to the designers for coming up with a design that actually allows a whole astromech to fit into these starfighters. And I don't know if there's any other features that the sucker has. It does have other armaments just for looks. I mean, you got the guns here on the front, on the insides of the wings, but you also got these small ones here. Let me see if I can try. Yeah, these small ones here on both sides of the wings, which is actually quite the nice touch. I don't know if you can see that. You probably could better than I can from this angle. But yeah, this was actually a very fun build. I mean, if they keep doing more and more versions of an Ectus 2, if they come up with another version for Obi-Wan's, I would definitely get it. But as far as Anakin's, this is basically it. But I will admit, I actually got 2 of these guys. The other one I actually did not did it in this design. I actually did it with orange markings. I actually got inspired by another YouTuber, Rebel Builder. He actually did several copies of one of the old models of the Ectus 2s. And I had a soft spot for the orange one he made, which he made for Harris and Dula, so I actually did that one. Because I actually had some of these pieces here in orange from an old Lego City set, so I saved those and I've just applied the stickers that you can place on this sucker, and just did it that way. And you'll be able to see that set in the in my review on my Grand Fleet. But anywho, I believe really isn't much for me to say on the Starfighter. I mean, the number of times that they've come out with the different versions of the Actus 2 for Obi-Wan and Anakin's. This one was, I would say this one was relatively worth it. I can't compare it to the other ones because this is the only one that I've gotten. So I really can't say much of anything else. So that would be my review. So that was my review on Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, and I'm going to just go ahead and say this marks the last Republic era starfighters. I'm going to be moving on to doing reviews on either the First Order or the Mandalorian starfighters, and there's actually 3 in both categories. Which one I'm going to do? Well, you're just going to tune in to see which ones I am going to be doing. So if you like the video and if you like my reviews, you want to see more, come join the Wolfpack once again. I'm going to remind you every single time. Come join the Wolfpack by hitting the subscribe button down below for more content and more reviews. And tune in to see the review on the Grand Fleet, because there are several different models, 7 different starships from the different eras, and once I'm actually done with the starfighters, which will be done, the last one is actually going to be done at the end of the month, which is going to be on a Halloween night, or Halloween day I should say. But after that I am going to be moving on to other starcrafts, including shuttles and frigates, and just finish off that and top it all off with the review on the Grand Fleet, which is going to be done on the 26th. It's on the 26th, I believe, of November. It's over another month away. I will be super grateful if you guys would if anyone who comes across this channel, to definitely tune into that. And if you happen to tune in after that date, then I hope you guys have actually gone to checking out the other reviews on the other sets I have been doing. And I believe that's basically it. And all that's left for me to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney, and I'll see you guys next time.